Hello, and welcome to the sixth video in Casey Tree's online advocacy in the district. This class is titled How to Advocate Effectively. In this module, we'll go over tips, tricks, and best practices that will help you become an effective advocate for yourself, your community, and your local environment. But first, we need to ask ourselves, what does it mean to be an advocate? Well, here at Casey Trees, it means protecting our trees, helping the district meet its 40% tree canopy goal, participating in local government, and, of course, being a voice for our trees. And we do that in a few different ways. We testify in front of councils and committees, we write comments, we submit feedback surveys, and we attend community meetings. But how do you become an effective advocate? It's all about the story you tell and the explanation you give for why that change needs to be made. Effective advocacy is, in essence, persuasive education. Whether you're advocating for trees, green space, or anything else that you're interested in, here are 4 steps you can follow to help you craft your most effective argument for change. First, start with the why. There are 2 parts to this. The first is kind of an internal why. It's your reason for starting this new advocacy journey. Before you start advocating for your issue, you need to know why you are doing this. What is your reason for testifying, writing comments, or going to a meeting on a specific issue? The second why is the point you want to make. This why will shape the rest of your advocacy and should be used to help you craft your message. You want people to be able to look back at what you said or what you wrote and know exactly what your goal was. Because of this, when you're pinpointing what it is that you want your point to be, make sure it is short, about 10 words, and descriptive. You don't want to just say, trees are good. You want to say, trees are good because of the health benefits they provide. One tip is to create your point and then test it by putting, I believe that, in front of it. If it makes a complete sentence, you've got your why. After you've identified your whys, it's time to share them, and it's time to tell your story. When you share your experiences, it puts your concerns into context. It explains your motivations for wanting change and starts the conversation with others who may be interested. Use this part of your advocacy to explain to your listeners why your issue matters to you, to your community, and to them, the audience as a whole. Your why is one of the most powerful tools you have, and your story will draw people in and help them better understand and care about your issue. Next, we state our recommendation for how to make the current plan or policy better. This recommendation should be clear and concise, but shouldn't be a general sweeping statement. You need to provide some detail. For example, you could just say that we need more trees. Or you could be a little more specific and say that we should focus on adding trees to the places with low canopy coverage, and that we should be directing our funding to areas that are experiencing the negative impacts of climate change because trees aren't there to mitigate them. Which sounded better to you? Which do you see as more actionable? By being specific, we can get exactly what we want, not movement in that direction. I recommend keeping your asks no more than 1 sentence. Finally, we back up our arguments with facts. Researchers have found that elected officials are more likely to listen to a story from their constituents who are directly impacted by the problem. But when it comes down to it, effective advocacy not only gives them the why it matters, it also tells them the extent of the issue and the impact that this change will have. When all is said and done, you want to leave your audience understanding what you want, why you care, and how your recommendations fit into a larger scope. Of course, the format of this will change depending on if you are submitting comments, filling out a development survey, or presenting at a budget hearing. But if you follow this outline, you'll be sure to get your message across loud and clear. But effective advocacy is not just about what you say, it's also about how you say it. You can't just have a good argument, you also need to make sure it is presented in a way that the audience will be open and willing to listen to. Sometimes an issue is contentious, and you don't want to be remembered as the person who yelled and screamed. You want to be the one who gave the good argument, was considerate, and listen to others. Building a strong message only goes so far. You need to build relationships in order to garner support and make the changes you wish to see. We recommend taking your time. This applies in two places. First, when you're presenting, make sure you're taking your time and speak in a measured and even cadence. Otherwise, you'll be rushing through and people won't understand what you're saying. The second is when you're crafting your argument. Take your time to really identify what you want to say and how you want to say it. You want to make sure you are being clear, concise, and specific. This ensures that you leave your audience knowing exactly what you want. It should go without saying, but be kind and follow the golden rule. People respond to those who are willing to listen and are more likely to listen in turn if you do as well. As the old saying goes, practice makes perfect. Practicing will help you be more comfortable with what you're saying so you won't be reading from a sheet. Instead, you'll be speaking to your audience. Lastly, don't forget to smile. You've done the research, you're confident in what you're saying, and you know you're right. You'll do just fine. Thank you for watching the 6th module, How to Advocate Effectively. Got any follow-up questions or want to learn more about this topic? Send us an email at friends@caseytrees.org.